get started a little earlier than normal. The meals should all be out by now. Did anybody not get a meal? Okay, good enough. So let's bow our heads in prayer. For the beauty and glory of this day, and for the betterment that comes to us through Rotary, and for the bounty spread before us, we thank you, O Lord, our God. Amen. And let's stand for the pledge, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test: is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will be beneficial to all concerned. Thank you. Can you have a seat? Do I have any happy dollars today? All right. Glenn.
Dollar for the USA hockey team. Tough guy that knocked over the plate. Winning goal. Yeah, that was amazing.
Hey, and the ladies.
Wow. Well, it was a good time for Louisville Athletics. We got 4 swimmers qualifying to state in 6 events, I think. They had Owen Emmerich qualifying for state in bowling, so there's another sport that did well. Unfortunately, the Lady Leopards fell yesterday, but they did finish the season, with the exception of yesterday, on a 7-game winning streak. So kudos to them. They finished with a winning record this year. And I know that you guys did really well the county, all-county
Track
and field indoor. Amelie and Kyla Meyer.
Somebody won first place, didn't they? Stand up, take a bow. Yeah.
And then, so Amelie did well, Kyla Meyer did well. She qualified for nationals in Boston.
Yeah, New Balance Nationals in state.
Yes. And then, didn't one of the boys do well? Yeah, I don't remember, but it's just been a good week, and
Thank you, Barb.
All right, on some of your tables, there's a little flyer. I talked about this last week. I'm not sure anyone could hear me last week, but on March 7th, the LEPS Levy Committee is having a fundraiser called Dueling Pianos. It's a lot of fun. We cannot use any public funds to run our levy campaigns for the school. In May, there will be issue 3. If issue 3 fails, we will have to cut $2.6 million from our budget. Dozens and dozens of employees will lose their job. I want to remind you that we are the biggest employer in Louisville. So it would greatly impact our community, your children, your grandchildren, maybe your neighbors. It's really important that we go ahead and pass this, but this night is just a fun night so we can, again, run our levy campaign. There's music, people sing along. If you want to, you can dance. There's an open bar, there's good food, and there are a ton of great raffle baskets. On this page right here is a QR code. We are wrapping up reservations at the end of this week to be able to come. If you need me to text you the QR code or a link, I can do that as well. But I would love to see Rotarians there supporting public education in Louisville. It's probably, like I said, one of the most important things that we can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you. Yes.
The Louisville Rotary speech competition is going to be the 11th of March, and there are 4 or 5 students from the Louisville Speech and Debate team that will be participating in that program. We need judges, so I need 4 or or 5 Rotarians that would be willing to do that. Greg Parrish this is his last hurrah, so he is passing the buck on to me, so I'm kind of helping him with that this year. So we need at least 4 people to step up on March 11th. It's at 3 o'clock. You could be there about 15 minutes early at the high school speech room. If you're interested, please see.
What time was it again?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Put me down.
Okay, that one. I need 3 more. Come see me.
Who wants to be a judge? Glenn. Barb, Glenn. Anyone else? I'll do it. That's 3. Barb. Glenn. Jim. It takes about an hour of your time. Anybody else?
We're good.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you. And thank you for taking on that responsibility. That's a really cool event, in my opinion. First, I want to also apologize for last week. Those of you who were there know what I'm talking about. For 4 or 5 weeks, I checked out the dining room upstairs, and there was 2 or 3 people, and they were at the most, and they were sitting by the kitchen. And I thought, okay, we can do this. And lo and behold, the Eagles didn't even know that people were coming. Like 30 people showed up, and they were loud, and it was impossible to hear. And so I said, okay.
Was it class reunion?
Well, half part of it was, yeah. They were very chatty, and it was very difficult to hear. It was impossible to hear if you were sitting I was sitting 4 feet away, and I couldn't hardly hear. So, but my wife would tell me that I can't hear anyway. So, all right, this is really important. We have some guests here today. I don't remember the last time we filled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tables. But it's great. Let's start in this table and let's introduce our guest.
Okay, so we have the kid, well, we have Serena, which all of you know, right? Our Italian. She is currently at my house. We are so blessed to have her. She'll be there until May. So it's been a lot of fun. Hopefully she enjoys herself. And then we have our Louisville High School kids who went to RILA. Do you want them to talk now or do you want them to talk later?
Just go after the introduction.
Okay, so we've got my daughter Amanda, we've got Beck Anderson, Kale Benson, and Omley Anderson. Beck and Omley were host siblings to Maria, that was her first house, and Kale has been an ambassador for the past 2 years, so is Amanda. So they are our longest serving ambassadors currently, which is why we picked the kids that we did to go to RILA this year.
Very good. Welcome. And we'll introduce him later. You have a guest. Doc?
My wife.
Beth Cross. Okay, let's see. Let's go. No. Oh, yeah. Hannah is still a non-member, but she will probably be one in another week. Once we have a board meeting. I have a feeling. So, welcome, Hannah. No one. Oh yeah, Jennifer. Greg's wife, Jennifer Anderson, is here to represent him and bring her kids along. Thank you for coming. How about back here? You want to introduce yours, Cindy? Well, welcome all the guests. So I'm not going to talk too much about any of this stuff because this was already addressed previously. It's on my agenda. I just wanted to remind folks, but RILA got postponed this year because of the weather was so bad a few weeks ago when it was originally scheduled, and so they went this past weekend, and we're going to give them an opportunity to talk. So who wants to go first?
before you go up there together.
All right, try. I want you to stand behind this podium because the microphone's right here, okay?
Okay, hello everyone. My name's Kale Benson. I was one of the 4 that was selected for RILA. First, I want to say thank you to this club for allowing me to go to RILA. RILA was probably one of the best leadership conferences I've ever went to. I've went to, I think, 3 in my mind that I can think of, and RILA was the best by far. When I was there, I learned that I am a director type style of leadership. I'm very going to a project towards the objective of that project. I like to lead, but I also like to guide people to that objective. And many people will support that as I serve in multiple leader position roles like student council, foreign exchange ambassador group, key club, just other roles, other clubs that we serve at Louisville High School. I also learned that leadership doesn't always have to be represented by the most successful person. We are all human. We all make mistakes, but it's about how we recover from those mistakes and how we can encourage others to keep fighting along with us towards that overall goal. My favorite activity was a coin-based game. It's where we got divided into 4 different sections, and it was based on how wealthy you were according to the coins. I was very good. I was lucky. I didn't even trade at all because I was fortunate enough to have good coins. But it taught me that the higher class you could get, the more corrupt your mind could get about power and stuff and how lower classes can be affected. So that was a real life representation on how much people can be affected by your power and how much control you have to have when you have that type of power. Overall, I just want to say thank you again for the experience and allowing me to be part of that experience. Like I said, I plan to use all the things that I've learned throughout RILA to continue on in my leadership roles at high school and just make the high school a better place and then the world along with community a better place. So thank you all.
Hello everyone, my name is Beck Anderson. I'm the 2nd junior boy who was selected to go. I would like to start it off by saying thank you as well, because without it, I wouldn't have been able to go through this awesome experience. At first I was weary about it. I didn't know what to expect. I've never been to a leadership conference in my life. And I didn't know what to expect. But when I got there and we were kind of forced to meet people, and I really liked that because for me, it's hard to be social, but it kind of got me out of my comfort zone as soon as I got there. One of my main takeaways was that being the first one to act in a group is always hard, but sometimes to get that momentum going, you have to be the first to act. And for me, that was a big step out of my comfort zone as well. But when, for example, we were given 3 pieces of long poster paper. We were supposed to make the longest tower out of it. No one in my group wanted to start, not even me. I was like, you know what? I started thinking about it, and then we started going, and then my teammates started adding on, and then they wanted to incorporate their ideas as well. And seeing that, that was probably the most formative aspect of the weekend, because I realized that, just because you have an idea to get something done doesn't mean that your idea is the right one, and that coming together and collaborating is one of the most important aspects of teamwork, for sure. I also learned that it is not hard at all to approach people you don't know. You just have to want to approach them and make meaningful connections. Like on Snapchat, I made a bunch of friends and we talk regularly. And it's just great to know that I have those connections from different schools when I'm visiting, and that I'm familiar with people from those regions. So I've been applying these lessons I learned to the classroom and just daily life. For example, in the classroom, if me and my table are working on math, for example, everyone's trying to solve the problem, whatnot. Maybe I'm trying to do it in my head, but other people are struggling. It's very helpful to teach them or explain to them what's going through my head, not just doing it myself, and kind of if I'm struggling to be able to get the other person's perspective. And just overall, Ryla was a great experience, and I'm so happy I went, even though I was weary at first. And I would just like to thank you all again for the amazing experience.
Hi, I'm Amelie, and I was also selected to go to Ryla. Going in, I was also a little nervous, but I was honestly really excited to meet new people, even though I do also get a little nervous talking to new people. But when I first got there, we were immediately pushed into the situation where we had to go up to everyone there, like randomly, just anyone, and just like start talking to them. And that really put me out of my comfort zone. But like the second I started talking to people, I wasn't nervous anymore, and it ended up being like the best experience I've had in a long time. So yeah, my favorite activity was the skits. We made skits about the 6 pillars of character, and so my group did the responsibility pillar. So it was really fun, and like I don't know, I learned a lot from like collaborating with people to like figure out how to make the skit like fun but also like take something away from it. So that was really fun. And then what I learned about leadership, I learned that there's different roles in leadership, and you have to learn about your like how your like character and like personality type can like connect with your like leadership role or whatever. So that's what I learned about leadership. And then what I learned about myself is that I'm more of an observer, and I like to know all the facts going into a situation or challenge, and then I have to have a clear like communication with that. So I learned that I need to like communicate with everyone before we actually plan what we're gonna do and everything. So, and I also wanted to share the last day of Ryla, we all wrote becoming statements about how like we like the person that we wanted to strive to be, like taking the lessons we learned from the weekend. So my becoming statement is, I'm becoming a confident individual who enters every situation with optimism, patience, and compassion for others around me, and I strive to be active in my community and be generous and impactful. Thank you I wanted to also thank you guys for providing this opportunity for me.
Hi, my name's Amanda, and I also learned a lot about leadership at the conference. I learned to be more outgoing and how to make more friends. I'm like Amelie, I was very scared to like talk to so many different new people, but I ended up easily making lots of friends, and I got like lots of text messages from them in the whole entire group chat and everything. And like Kale was saying, we played this coin game, and while he was up at the high economy, I was at the very poorest, and and I stayed there the whole time. So I made good friends with, we were called the Triangles, we were the Triangle group. We made great friends there, and we started to sacrifice our own points to send people up the scale to try and get to Kale's level. And I just thought that was like a really cool representation, and it was really cool how we all like bonded to do one movement and get people up there, even if we sacrificed our own points to get those people up there. Another thing I learned was also about like personalities and like what personalities work best for what leadership roles and how those personalities interact. And I just wanted to thank you guys for allowing me to have that opportunity.
I have a question. I heard a rumor that you weren't allowed to have your phone. Is that true?
Yep.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
So
It was fine.
car right there, I think we all, well, I don't know. I spent most time on my phone on the car right there, and then once we got there, it was nice. We were used to not having phones because in school we're not allowed to have them anymore.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, but
It made it a lot easier to
Yeah.
like reach out to people and talk to them because no one had their phones, so we were all in the same situation. So everyone just collectively came together, and we all made a lot of connections.
Just so you know, almost all of us here in this room didn't have a phone when we were in high school. We survived. Thank you. Any
Thank
questions?
you.
Any questions for the students? Okay, thank you guys.
Well, to follow up on our young people's leadership conference, maybe in 20, 25 years from now, you're thinking, where am I going to meet some new friends? What am I going to be doing to meet a new social circle? I feel like I'm channeling a little Al Gress storytelling here. Well, let me tell you about dance competitions and baton competitions supporting your daughters. That's how I've met Aaron, fellow dance dad. He can understand when you walk in with a nice stack of 20s in your wallet and you leave with nothing after one of these days, in addition to what you spent already. But I've gotten to know Aaron Bachman, our speaker, through some of those long Saturday and Sunday recitals and dance competitions. And he's been a pretty cool guy to get to know. So he is an East Canton graduate, works for UPS by day, and then he has his wife is Shannon, a teacher in Minerva, and he has two children, Peyton and Braden. Got it all right. And he'll tell you more about Challenger baseball and how he's gotten involved with that and how it really impacts hundreds of kids throughout our region, including some Louisville area kids too. Aaron Bachman.
So a great icebreaker is when you're coming up to speak and your computer dies on you. So that's how we'll start this. As soon as it comes up, I do have some pictures and stuff to kind of guide us through our conversation this evening. And I am fully open to a conversation. So if you have questions, you don't have to wait till the end. If it's something right then, don't hesitate to interrupt me. I'm very comfortable at taking questions as we go. I'll get this screen back up and running. Looks like he's on HDMI 2. It's also what happens when you borrow your wife's computer. So I'm going to blame her tonight. Just don't tell her, Jared.
Hope she doesn't watch the stream.
She's at baton with my daughter
Okay.
tonight, so we'll be safe.
You're good.
Jim, can you move the view?
Yeah.
One way or the other? Kind of block it.
Let's move the screen. It'll be, I think, easier.
Here we go.
Let's go this way and go this way. Can you see it back there?
There we go. So Canton Challenger Baseball, first of all, it is the name that the league started with. So the league started in 1991 here locally in Stark County. It was started by a lady named Bonnie McClellan, who was a employee at Glen Oak School District, plain local. She had a student come to her throughout the week and said, "Hey, do you know where I can play baseball? I can't keep up with my neighborhood friends that are playing baseball as well." She had recently traveled and attended the Little League World Series over in Williamsport, where in 1989 they had started Challenger Baseball. Every year they bring in different organizations to play a Challenger game during the Little League World Series, and she got to witness this game. And so the student asked her, and she said, "You know what? I think we can make something happen." So in 1991, the first Canton Challenger baseball team started and had 30 kids on it, and they called themselves the Detroit Tigers. Why Detroit? I have no idea. But they did. And the league has grown over the years to where we are now the largest Challenger baseball league in the state of Ohio, beating the likes of Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland. We have, over the last 2 years, have had over 200 kids each year in just Stark County alone. So we do that through two different divisions. We have a senior division and what we refer to as the regular division, because it's really the younger kids division. The younger kids division you can play in until you are graduated from high school. In the state of Ohio, that can be age 22 as long as you are still attending school. Once you do that, you can graduate and you can play in the senior, what we call the senior league. And we have had someone as old as 85 years old last year playing baseball with us. So who's ready to play baseball tonight? I mean, I think we could all go a couple innings. But yeah, it's been a real interesting growth over 2 years. We actually seen an explosion about 2 years ago. We were at about 150 and then came up to 200 very quickly, adding teams, adding people. So it all comes together with an entirely unpaid board. No one that does anything with Canton Challenger receives any payment. We all do it out of the lovingness of our heart and probably all through a connection somehow. To bring it more locally to you guys, out of our 200 kids, we have averaged right around 15 kids over the last 3 years. That's how far back my records go. That's when we went digital and stopped having paper files for everything. But we've had right around 15 kids from the Louisville area. Now that doesn't mean they all attend Louisville High School. Some of them do, believe it or not. So some of the guys, you guys are going to school with, are playing baseball once a week. Starting in May. But if you're familiar, there's a school called Golden Key, and it's over off of 30th Street, and several of them attend Golden Key as well. So they live in Louisville but attend Golden Key as they have tried to find the best fit for them. I have one picture of them in here. So as we go through this, I'm going to tell you some of the things we do in Challenger. I'm going to tell you the story of about 3 different players and what affects them, and how baseball has helped them and what they've experienced through that. And then we'll wrap up. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. So at the beginning of our year, we start our league. Turn that way a little bit. Does that help you guys see over there?
Yeah, good.
Sorry, not trying to block you guys over there. We start the league with an opening day ceremony, just like many little leagues. This here is a picture of Landon. We have found that in our league, our players may have different abilities, but they all have abilities. Landon is a very accomplished pianist, has played for Akron Children's Hospital, and he actually graced us with the opening ceremony national anthem this year. So we were able to plug him in. He brought his piano and he played the national anthem. During our opening ceremonies, we have all of our teams there, so you get to see all of our teams lined up, all of our kids out there in their uniforms. And when you go through and you ask them, hey, what's your favorite thing about playing baseball? What do you think the number one answer is? Hitting the ball. Got a question for you. How do you think a kid who is blind hits a ball? How do you think a kid who is in a wheelchair and can't swing a bat hits a ball? Anybody who wanted to try and close their eyes and hit the ball? I'll give you some help. Okay, here's the ball they use. This is a brand new one. So I'm going to hope the battery don't die on me like my computer. But here it is. So if I were to tell you to close your eyes and catch this or hit this, better yet, hit it with a bat. Here's what you get to hit. So they literally will sit there and the coach, ready, Jared? The coach will pitch and say, now. And the kid holds the bat and swings when the coach yells now. And believe it or not, they bat until they hit the ball. Watch, I won't be able to shut off now. I just don't have my glasses on. I won't blame my daughter. She was playing with this.
Can they be in a wheelchair?
There it is.
Can they be in a wheelchair?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually will have some pictures here. So that's our beeper ball. And I thought about having a bat here. I have a bat here. I thought about having one of you try and hit the ball, but I'll save this from that. But they literally will hit that ball, and I will promise you they hit it within about 10 pitches. So, and that's every time they come to bat. So it's a true testament to their resolve to stay committed to doing it and their commitment to work with the coach, who also had to learn to pitch to them because every kid is a little bit different. When they're batting, which again is their favorite thing to do, they'll start with pitches. If if we get too long, because we got to keep the games moving, think about it. Kids, they don't like to sit still, especially, we have all different kinds of abilities, whether they're physical, cognitive, whatever they might be. So we got to keep the game moving, or they lose interest. They lose the ability to stay focused. And we'll move them to a tee if we have to. But most kids, you'll find once they get to the point they're taking pitches, it becomes automatic. They figure out how to hit that ball in the focus. Our wheelchair kids, as you were asking, can you be in a wheelchair? Absolutely. Some of my best friends from the league are in wheelchairs. We'll talk about one here in a bit. But we have a hitting device. We actually have a few of them. One is a box. Anyone ever seen a clay pigeon thrower? So the box is literally a transformed clay pigeon thrower, completely contained in a box with a bat mounted on top. Everybody gets back. Once it's set, kid pulls the string, it swings the bat and hits the ball for him. We have another one. It's battery operated. There's 2 buttons. This is for the kids that we need to be a little more careful on. Coach or parent gets one button, kid gets the other button. When they hit the button, the bat swings again and hits the ball for them, so they get the joy of making the bat make contact with the ball. Some of our kids will run the bases on their own in the wheelchair. Some of them will have battery-powered wheelchairs. Some are being helped with the battery-powered around. Every case is different. That's the one thing about Canton Challenger baseball. When our coaches are asking, hey, how do we want to handle this, or can you handle that? They say, isn't that what we do? There's not a way we can't figure out to get somebody on the field. Speaking of our kids in a wheelchair, this is Logan Snyder, affectionately known to the rest of us as Moose. He's been Moose since I've known him. His mom, they're from Minerva. This particular guy is from Minerva, and if you needed a professional trash talker on your team, Moose is your guy. And he will start talking trash the minute he gets to the game until the minute he's back in the car. And he's one of my best buddies. He's been through some medical issues lately and is getting better. But Moose, as you can see here, Moose will bat one-handed when he is batting in his wheelchair. Once he's done, he does run the bases by himself. Moose has had a list of things go on, seizure disorder and different things. So what he does at a game, what he does day to day will depend on how he's feeling. What do we have to adjust? What do we have to do? There's been days where, hey, he's got to go back to a tee. He's recently moved up to our senior league. And when I see him Sunday, he'll make sure to tell me, hey, I moved up a league, right? Because that's his common comment to me. Make sure you move me up that league. I don't want to be left behind. But Moose is a character. The story I really want to focus on here is Miguel. Miguel is a young guy who plays on our Red Sox. Miguel was adopted from Cuba by his mom and dad. My relationship with Miguel and his mom and dad started with a phone call for information about the league, much like any other parent does. And his mom called and said, can my son play baseball on his knees? She said, that's how he's going to live most of his life. Can he play baseball on his knees? And I said, I'm just concerned about a rock hitting his knee or him walking on his knees and getting a rock. And she goes, oh, we got orthotics for his knees. The doctors made them. We're ready to go. I said, oh, then yeah. Why wouldn't he play on his knees if that's how he wants to play? And she said, well, a lot of places we've looked for won't let him play the way he wants to, which is on his knees. Miguel was born with limb differences. You can see his legs were not straight. His arms were a little bit different. Miguel has become known on the Red Sox team as our Roberto Clemente. Okay? Kid has the biggest heart. The kid has the most hustle. If he was in a typical operating body, he would be miraculous. But he's not. But he does not let that slow him down. You can see him here with his coach kneeling down, figuring out what's the best way to get the ball. The ball comes towards him. He will run over and get that ball and wing it back to the coach or wherever it needs to go right away. When he came, first practice, first game, he had a bat and he just couldn't, with his arms, he couldn't quite hold it with the weight it was. His coach said, hey, we got to do something here. I need a different bat. We found a bat that's literally this big. It looks like a little club. Okay, it looks like something you would expect someone to keep next to the nightstand or something. And we switched balls for him as well. So now he gets a pitch in and he takes that bat, swings it up and makes that ball go and takes off running. How does he run the bases? On his knees. 65 feet each direction, 4 times to get around the bases on his knees. So I got a quick little video here. It's not long, so you can see what that looks like. As long as it's going to play, we're going to make it play. So here's Miguel running home. It's a little pixelated just because I did blow it up, but that's him running the bases. Now, you'll see he falls. What you don't see after that, because it got cut off, is he gets right back up and keeps going because you know what? He just did his favorite thing. Played baseball. Now, the story with Miguel doesn't stop there because his mom and dad are the type of people who, hey, when you get into a tunnel and you can't find the other way out, what do? You keep digging, right? And us as parents in this league, we've had to advocate for our kids more than once. They depend on us. You keep digging. Miguel, mom called me last year and she said, hey, we're not going to be able to play this year, but it's a good reason why. We're going to Florida for the summer. I'm like, daggone, I want to go. And she said, I'm not sure you do. Miguel's having surgery. He had both legs reconstructed and was not going to be able to play, but be here, but for maybe a game or two. I said, you know what? No, just come play. Play what you can and go. So he came and played, and then he left and went to Florida. And you can see over here, he's got a Challenger baseball shirt on that his mom swears to me he refuses to take off most days. And here he is just a few months ago standing on his own, which he could never do before. So that is what we in Challenger live for, are the success stories. The ones where the kid didn't give up, no one gave up on him, and you know what? That smile on him, it's infectious. It doesn't go away. The next kid I'm going to tell you about is probably the hardest one for me to talk about. It's what led me to Challenger baseball. It's my favorite thing. I skipped it too. The little guy in orange. My son was diagnosed with autism and cerebral palsy. And I swore I wasn't going to get emotional. And I'm lying to myself. Because I don't tell this story to really anybody. I remember where I was the day he was diagnosed. And I acted just like this. You're allowed to laugh at that. That was supposed to be fun. Right? You're supposed to help me here. I was on my dad's couch in his office. My family works at Middy's Trucking in Louisville. Most of you have probably passed it at some point in time. But I was in his office on his couch, just like this. And I was upset that I wasn't going to get to play basketball. I wasn't going to get to teach him to throw a baseball. Still gets to me today. But then we joined this league. And I got to see him with his sister, who twirls baton and threatens to hit him with it more often than not. And they get to act like typical brothers and sisters. She goes out on the field and drags him around when he doesn't want to listen, which is nice for me because I get a break. And then after the game, she walks into the car. And that's my favorite part of the entire league. It's the small moments we find, as well as the other things this league has done. It has taught me more about the things I'm going to have to deal with my kids, my son, as he gets older, what opportunities there are for him, what resources there are. So moving beyond just baseball, it's a community to support one another, to learn and to figure out what we got to do moving forward to advocate for our kids, to support our kids, and to help them grow and become meaningful members of community. So it is a sport, a league, and so much more. And some of the other things that come from it are the friendships. This is my son with Bobby. Bobby is one of those Louisville kids who attends Golden Key. When I first met Bobby in swimming class at the Louisville Y, Bobby didn't, if you got a hello out of Bobby, you were doing good. Through baseball, through working his tail off, Bobby now will have a short conversation with you. And Bobby will laugh, and Bobby remembers Braden. When they see each other, it's like two best friends who hadn't seen each other in a few months. And then this is my son with a friend at school, because you get into Challenger baseball and you run into friends who are doing the same thing as you when you're going to 15 different therapy sessions at Akron Children's, and you run into Landon, who was playing the national anthem, true story, at therapy session on a random whim, and then those two are off doing therapy together, and you're like, what am I here for? So yes, it's baseball. Yes, it's tailored to our kids, but it becomes so much more because they make friends not just from their school, not just from, hey, it's a baseball team, but they make friends that they see throughout the day, every day. So what are some of the struggles we have at Challenger Baseball? It's always the same struggles as every baseball league. Okay, if you talk to every baseball league, it's, hey, we need more people to help. Hey, we need, there's always something going on that we're doing this, that, or the other for. But most of the time it's, hey, we always need more help. We need more people to know what's going on. And that's why we try and come to these types of things and let you guys know what Challenger is and what it means to the people there. I don't want to take us past 6:30. I know that's kind of our deadline there. But real quick, I'll shoot through these last ones. A couple things that Challenger does. This is our Pirates team, but you'll see in that lower right-hand corner there, the Akron Rubber Ducks have take one day a year. They bring us up. We play a game before the Rubber Ducks play a game where their players come on the field with us. They play, they get together. It's us, Talmadge, and Tuscarawas County Challenger Leagues that all go up there and do that. So it's kind of a special day for them to get to play on that big, cool field. There's that picture just a little bit bigger. One of the coolest events we do is we hold, as a fundraiser for ourselves, a fast pitch softball tournament with all the girls softball teams in the area. We say, hey, here it is. It's actually one of the lower cost softball tournaments for them to attend. But it's so cool because we shut the tournament down. We play Challenger games in the middle of it, and all the girls are on the field playing side by side with our kids. This picture here actually is hysterical if you were there. The girl said, hey, can we take him around the bases? Dad said, yeah. His dad was there. His name's Luca. And Dad said, yeah, you ever driven one of these wheelchairs before? The girl said, no. His dad goes, let me turn the speed down for you a little bit. And I swear there wasn't a straight line on that field when they were done, okay? And the girls were like, the one girl was there and she goes, you got to do this. I can't do it. But they got to experience what mom and dad deal with on a daily basis, right? Just moving him from place to place. So that softball tournament is actually a really fun, cool thing to see all those athletes, no matter typical or not, being able to play softball, baseball together. This year we added trunk or treat. Why? Just for something to do. What else you got to do on a fall Saturday before a Buckeyes game, right? This is Bobby again. Even some of the parents dressed up and got, to clowning around a little bit with us. And then, of course, I always steal a picture of my kids when I can, especially when they're being nice to one another. So, in very short, hopefully I was able to tell you a little bit about what Challenger is, how it's more than just a baseball league, and kind of what we do. Some of the ways we adapt with a baseball beeper ball with batting machines. There's a lot more that goes into it, but in 2 hours I probably could just scratch the surface for you. So hopefully I didn't bore you. And if you guys have any questions, I'm glad to take them now. But like I said, I wanted to respect your time of getting you done here at 6:30 as well. Where do we play our games? Come right back.
One young man, you said, was his name Luca? You said?
Yes.
And is he smiling all the time?
At the baseball field, I can attest to, yes. Where do we play our games? We have one field that we control. After Bonnie McClellan, the lady who started the league playing, gave her a field at Barr Elementary. So we have one field at Barr Elementary that we tend for. That's completely under our control. We actually are in the midst of a field upgrade, if you will, there because our wheelchairs were struggling with half concrete, half dirt dug out. So we cemented that a year ago. Then we're trying to smooth the baseline so the wheelchairs are easier. So we're in the process of redoing that entire field. There we have a field. Jackson Parks gives us a field over at Jackson Fisher. Diamond up in Plain Local. And if you're familiar with Alliance, up behind the new Meyer is a place called the Sports Zone.
Yeah.
He gives us one of the fields there, different nights to play as well. So our kids get to play on a turf field, and think. Let me tell you, they talk about the turf field.
What's it cost to run your league per year?
You would ask me that question.
Just guess. 200 people in the city, is that correct?
200 people in the county.
In the county.
Yeah, it's our league encompasses the whole county. We are probably about. We just did our taxes too. I'm gonna say it's about, depending on, and this is gonna sound weird, depending on our end of year. So Challenger in the state of Ohio traditionally throws a state tournament. Okay, it's not really a tournament. We go somewhere where they're hosting, whether it's Cincinnati, Toledo, Tuscarawas County, and all the Challenger leagues come together and play games for a weekend. Without that, setting that piece aside, that special end of year, it's about $25,000. All of our kids you've seen our jerseys. We try and keep as much local as we can. Anybody ever watched a college football game and seen the refs have an S on the back of their shirt that stands for Smitty's? Every single one of those is made in Canton, Ohio. Okay? They make our jerseys. So those are done. Our team pictures are actually done by a Louisville mom named Sarah Reed. Sarah Reed Photography has a spot right there on Main Street. She does our team pictures. So we try and keep as much local as we can. Trying to keep all that. We deal with Dumont's locally as well. So by the time we do jerseys, hats, insurance, the paperwork we all love, at the end of the year, awards, end of year get together for the kids, just a team party, it's about $25,000. Give or take based on number of kids, right? So if we had less kids, it would be a little less.
How many teams?
16 last year. Should be 16 again this year.
What's their ages? How young can they start up to? I know you told me.
4 years old up to as old as you want to go.
Okay.
85 last year, and this year yet to be determined what the oldest will be. I know I have a 55-year-old playing this year. I know that one.
Any other questions?
And if you want, if you want to ask questions afterwards, I can stick around to not hold everyone up, and you can grab me as well. I'm glad to answer them now that I'm done talking about my son, and I got past that part.
All right. A little token of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the order?
No.
Rotable. Thank you. I knew there was some. Kathy, where are you? She's back now. Okay. We're going to have one of our.
Hey Jim, while you do that, ask Shannon what she did today. Shannon.
Shannon, what'd you do today?
Shannon, what'd you do?
I took 4 of the high school seniors to World Affairs Pittsburgh. So we had to be to 8 o'clock this morning, so now I'm a little sleepy right now because I'm not a morning person. So yeah, I took 4 of the kids to World Affairs Pittsburgh, and it's sponsored by a couple of different Rotary districts. you guys sponsored for high school students, so we had, I actually heard a lot about Jim Dutter today, just FYI. And the Andersons as well in the car, because I cannot go 2 hours without speaking. So I made them talk the whole way there. So I had some great kids. So we had one of our ambassadors, Maddie Ashcroft.
And Morgan Delacroix.
And Morgan Delacroix is also.
And Kyle Deem is also an ambassador.
Kyle Deem, yes, and he's hilarious. He was cracking me up. And then it was Anderson
Candle.
Campbell. Yes, Anderson Candle. So we had 4 kids in the car with me, and they are very appreciative of you guys being able to sponsor them.
Rotary helped it and all
Cynthia's the winner. I think she got $7 maybe.
Yeah. How many of those $7 were?
See what color marble we get. And it's a blue. Anything else for the good of the order today? Have a good evening and a good weekend. Thank you.